In this video, I'm going to show you how you can optimize your Framer website so it ranks higher on Google search results. If you don't know me, my name is Nandi. I'm the founder of Framer University, and if you take a look at my screen here, you can see that in the past 6 months, I reached 36k total clicks from Google, and it's all organic. If you just take a look at the last 28 days, it's 8,000 clicks from Google, which is quite insane. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can optimize your Framer sites so you can achieve similar results. So I'm going to break this video up into 5 sections. In the first section, I'm going to show you how you can set image alt text. Then I'm going to talk about HTML tags. The third section will be about Aria labels. The fourth section will be site title and site description. And the last section will be a bonus tip that I'm going to give you. So let's start with the first section, which is image alt text. So as you can see, I am here on Framer.University and I have this banner image here. It is a post in my resources section and I have this image here. As you can see on the right panel, it has a fill property which is set to this image, which is coming from the CMS collection. So as you can see, I can set the image here that is displayed on this CMS detail page. So here you can always set the alt text, and it is really important to set this because this describes what we see on the image. So what I usually do is I just paste in the title because, basically this image is a banner for this post. So this title makes perfect sense here for an alt text. But if you, for example, have an image for a person or a logo, you can just say a logo of, the brand or image of the person. So yeah, that's image alt text. It's really important to set it and it's pretty easy to do, so don't forget that. So the second thing that you have to make sure that you do is HTML tags. So it is an overlooked feature, I think, in Framer that you can go to the right panel whenever you select an element and set an accessibility tag here. So it is under the accessibility section. If you don't see tag here, you can just click the plus button and select tag. Basically for text, you can choose between these options, so H1, H2, and so on, and you can also select P or span. So basically these H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is for headings, and the P is for normal paragraph. Span is something that I usually don't really use. So for example, if we have this heading here, this is my most important text on this page, it's gonna be heading 1. If we have another heading here on this page, for example, this about the resource, that's going to be an H2, and the rest is of course paragraph, so a regular P tag. If, for example, we take a look at this site structure, you see that I have a main section here that basically wraps every single content on this page. So every single section is within this. It's gonna have a main HTML tag. As you can see, we have a bunch of these, but I'm going to talk about some of these here. So for example, for the navigation bar, we set nav. If we take a look at the footer, we set footer for that. If we, for example, have a button, you could say that, hey, you probably set button for a button, but no. If that button has a link, which, a remix button will probably have a link, it will be linked to the remix link, then it will be always set to an A tag automatically because that's how it should be. But for example, if you have a button which is not linked to anywhere, you have to set it for button. A great example is this website where we have these arrows that you can click to go to the right or to the left. These are not linked to anywhere, these just have interactions. So if we go into this component here, right arrow, as you can see, its tag is a button. So yeah, these are just some of the tags that you can choose from, but if you don't know how to use a specific HTML tag, you can always just ask AI. So for example, if you don't know how to use, let's say, the UL, you can just say, hey, how can I use the UL HTML tag? And AI will basically answer your question. It is used to define an unordered list. So basically that's it. You can always just ask AI and it will tell you pretty quickly. So I'm not going to go through each one of these. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is, it's not that important, but I want to mention it here. It's Aria label. So if we are here at this right arrow, this is actually a really great example, because as you can see, if we take a look at this site here, we have these buttons. It's a right arrow and a left arrow. But if we, for example, have a user that doesn't have proper vision, they will not be able to use this website, because what they usually use is something called screen reader, which basically reads the content of the website for them. So for example, it's gonna read original, tutorial, remix, and things like that. So they can know that, okay, here is a remix button, so I can click that. But the screen reader cannot really tell what these, elements are, because there's no visible text layer or anything that describes the function of this element. So what we can do to help these users and make our site more accessible is to set an Aria label. If you go to accessibility and then click Aria label, we can set it. So we can just say that this is a right arrow button. And basically that's it. Now our site is more accessible. It is maybe not directly important for SEO, but if our site is, usable and accessible, that can definitely help our SEO. So maybe it is somewhat indirectly related to SEO. So let's go into the next thing, which is site title and description. So if you go back to Framer University, you can see that we can go to the site settings here in the top right corner, and you can see that we have all these settings here. So let's start with general. You have the general tab where you can set the main site title and the main site descriptions for your website. So this will be, of course, a site title that is nicely keyword optimized. So in my case, my website is about Framer, so I'm going to make sure to have Learn Framer in this, and also the name of the brand Framer University. So if someone searches for this, I'm going to show up. Also for the site description, it describes the website and has some keywords in it. And basically that's it. Make sure it's not too long. And here you see a preview that if it will appear in the Google search results, it will look like this: title and description under that. But what if we have CMS pages? So for example, the resources section on my website has multiple resources. So how can I make sure that each of the resources have a unique title and a unique site description? Well, I can come here to the resources, and here, as you can see, I have this little variable inside of these brackets. So basically what happens here is that we have this CMS collection resources. As you can see, it has a bunch of items. If I go into one of these items, as you can see, we have these fields here: title, image, category. We have these links here. We have this description, which is a text. We have the site description here. And what we can do is we can basically put the name of those fields into brackets to basically show them on the title. So for example, if we have this title for the resources pages, what will happen is that this will always get replaced with the current item's title. So for example, 3D circle gallery in Framer, Framer resource. But if this is for another item, we will of course see another title, which will be used as a replacement for this part here. Same for the page description. As I said, I have a specific field in my CMS, and I can just reference that here in these brackets to make sure that the site description will always be unique for every single one of the items within this CMS collection. A little side note here is that you can also make sure that you have unique images for your CMS items here. Just click choose image and you can select a CMS variable. Of course, it's gonna be the banner image. So it's also pretty easy. And the last thing, as I said, I want to give you a little additional tip here. So many people think that Yeah, I'm gonna set these alt tags and HTML tags and Aria label and site title and description, and I'm gonna be the best. My site will rank first on Google and everything, but that's unfortunately not true. These are the things that we can do inside the Framer, but we have to do some additional things as well. So for example, we have to make sure that our site is regularly being updated with high quality content. In my case, I have this CMS, as you can see, resources. I am posting these resources almost every day. As you can see, I have over 180 of these. So this is really helpful when you want to rank high on Google search results, and you want to make sure that you get those clicks organically. Another thing which is important that you cannot really do in Framer, you have to do it outside of Framer, which is basically backlinks. Basically, this means that having your websites link on high authority websites. So for example, if my site is getting posted to the framer.com website or some other high authority pages, that will be really helpful for my website. So you can ask your friends maybe to put your URL on their site, or you can get on maybe website inspiration sites. That also is a really great technique. So yeah, these are just some additional things that you can do to make sure that your site ranks high on Google search results. But yeah, I guess that's it for this video. I hope that this was helpful, and yeah, make sure to check out framer.university. Because I have a bunch of free resources, remixes, and tutorials just like this. And yeah, I think those will help you learn Framer faster. Make sure to leave your questions in the comments if you have any, and I'm going to see you in the next one.